presentation if you're all in. Alright, guys. Welcome. Thanks. Welcome. I'm Mr. Brunner. I'm a new casual teacher. I'll open it up. It's my first ever day teaching. But I think we can have fun. Alright? Sure. I am hopefully of interest to you. I've just finished my PhD in robotics. So I've spent the last 4 years teaching cars how to drive by themselves, travelling the world. Hold on one second.
You should exchange notes. Well, I think Did you work on shrimp, sir?
Yeah, I worked on shrimp.
That's really cool.
So I'll see a few photos of shrimp in here. So you guys have travelled to Sydney Uni?
No, I'm part of the robotics team.
Cool.
Functions in there.
Oh, right, okay. Well, yeah, no, I was part of the original team helping to build shrimp and program and all that sort of stuff. So
it's week B, right?
Sorry?
It's week B, right?
It is week B. Thursday, week B. Okay, so guys, I just thought I'd give a quick introduction. 20, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I thought I'd give a quick introduction to myself, and then today Mr. Bilby has told me that he's working on assessment tasks. Okay? So what I'm going to do is you can either work on your assessment task or you can ask me questions about robotics and any sorts of cool things that are happening in the world of robotics at the moment. Or I can also, if you guys are interested, I'm a lecturer at Sydney Uni in first year robotics and mechatronics and fourth year computer vision. And I've got those lectures here, and if there's any one of those that particularly piques your interest, or if you actually just want to see what lectures look like once you hit university in a couple of years, then I'm happy just to skip through those quickly so you can have a look. But it's up to you. I think today can be pretty casual, but hopefully you can use me, because I think that can be a really, really good resource and can make this sort of stuff quite interesting. Yeah? Make sense? Happy? Alright, so this is me. I'm Mr. Brunner. I've travelled the world for the last 4 or 5 years, going to conferences and helping robotics teams. I've been part of a group in France, but mainly I've been working at Sydney University with these robots called Shrimp and Mantis. And my job for the last 4 years has been to work on ground vehicles, robotic ground vehicles, to make them essentially safer. And using their perception systems like lasers, radar, cameras, infrared imaging, so that they can work in all sorts of crazy conditions. And the reason is, as you guys have seen, have you guys all seen the different like Google cars coming out, the Japanese cars and all that sort of stuff, the ones that are going to be driving by themselves in a bit? So they work really, really well. They work in about 99% of situations. But the problem is that in those 1% of situations that no one's ever thought about, they crash or things go wrong. And Google will tell you right now, every time you get onto the Google website, they're like, our cars have driven hundreds of thousands of kilometers without a crash. You know what? They don't actually take them out when it's raining. They actually work in California for a reason, because they have perfect sunshine 364 days a year. And then on the rainy days, they just put them in the garage and forget about it. So things like rain actually cause really big problems. And where it was seen really quite strongly was in this race called the DARPA Grand Challenge. It's worth looking up. DARPA. It's a big robotics competition where they try and get cars to drive in all sorts of conditions for really, really long extended periods of time. And in the first ones, they used to go through the desert. And they'd have these massive, hundreds of kilometres long, big tracks that they'd have to follow through, or roads that they'd have to follow through the desert. Yeah, they just press start and hope that thing would get to the end. And some of these cars were driving along using laser systems giving them the distance to all these sorts of things, and they knew where the objects were. And driving along, and suddenly the car would just swerve off the side of the road, and no one knew why. And they go back and they look at all the video footage, they look at all the laser data, and what was actually happening, it took them a really long time to realise this, was I'm a terrible drawer, okay? So there's your car driving through, it's looking ahead, okay? And it's getting distances back. So if the road's here, it's getting the distance to the road with its scanner. But then what would happen would be, because it was a desert, a small little gust of wind would blow a tiny little dust cloud that we can't even see with our eyes, just in front of the car on the road. Because it was using laser data, it would get a reflection back off that dust come back to the car, and what it would see is a big solid object in the middle of the road. And so these cars were literally just driving along and swerving on the side of the road to avoid an object that wasn't there. Okay? So this is where my PhD went. I was trying to make these cars understand what the world they're actually seeing, and using all of their vision information that they possibly could, from the lasers to the radar to the cameras, the infrared. Okay, so I spent my time out on a farm throwing flares, throwing smoke bombs at robots, at night throwing flares and getting these things. So you can't really see it here, but there's the robot here driving towards me, and I'm trying to confuse it as best as I can by just giving it crazy situations that you'd never actually expect, but hopefully, you know, it'll make things safe in the future. Even use flamethrowers. Hi.
So, first name, give me, please. And Louis.
Lewis Newton.
Louis.
So I was even using flamethrowers in front of these things to try and get them to work. And I guess another thing I've been working on is a bit of Mars rover sort of stuff, just to help these things, because eventually we're going to be exploring the planet, and we need to make sure that these things are working perfectly before we send them up there.
Did you do any design work on that thing?
No, not the design stuff, but I helped set up a few of the experiments and things, but not the design stuff. I'm not hardware, I'm software, typically, and data analysis. So, which I think is sort of a lot of the stuff that you guys are doing around here. And here, hopefully it works. Let's see if I can run.
Is the right one?
Yeah.
It's 160 contract. Please look at this.
There's my robot. That's my presentation that I start with all the time. So, no, I've had a lot of fun over the last few years, and I've had a fair bit of success programming all this sort of stuff, particularly with infrared cameras and color cameras. So, hopefully I can help you guys with anything you need today. I'm not exactly sure what you're doing, because I've just been told we're doing your assessment task. So guys, any questions? No? Okay. Can someone explain to me what your assessment tasks are? Yeah, what are your assessment tasks in general?
Well, this assessment task, we have to do separate tasks for the time package.
Yeah.
I think first one we have to do is write out hardware. Table with the line, most types of hardware, some types of loads.
Okay.
And then you algorithms most types.
Okay, and what's the second task?
Designing three question programs to test students about hardware, written in Pascal and pseudocode. Your question may be true, false, or multiple choice. The variables used in your pseudocode have meaningful names and have the same names in Pascal code. Compile will need to be submitted by the USB memory stick as well as submitting the
So, what do you guys understand about pseudocode? Can you describe what pseudocode actually means?
Well, it's not like an actual English code, programmable language.
Yes.
It's a language that pretty much programmers use. They all know that language, and they can use that to put into something like C#.
Okay. And is that like I'm not disagreeing because I'm not sure. To tell you the truth, your definition of what pseudocode is. Guys in front. Do you want me to? Yeah.
Simple instructions in English that everybody can understand.
That's closer to what I think pseudocode is, rather than a specific language that computer people can understand. So the way I teach my university students, and you guys are already, it sounds like, at a level above where most of my university students arrive. There's a lot of struggling students. Go at the back. Focus there. The way I think of pseudocode is you write in English, sentences of what you're going to do in order. So you don't worry about having to write the programming. You just write a story of how your program is going to work. So I usually just do dot points. 1, this is going to happen. 2, this is going to happen. 3, this is going to happen. Okay, and in Pascal, what is the thing that makes something a comment? Do you guys have that?
I think it's double slash.
Double slash, yeah. Okay, so what I do is I write exactly this for this is going to happen. Okay, and then I just put a double slash in front of all this, and then I write my code in front of this. Does that make sense? It just makes your life so much easier. The first thing you do is this. Because to tell you the truth, as a marker, anytime you're actually looking at this sort of stuff, or even as a programmer who you're looking at someone else's work, you don't look at this until something breaks. What you do is you read the story. You go, they've set up their variables. Right, they've started their program. Right, they've initialized these sorts of things. Okay, they've run this. Okay, and then if something's breaking down, I read this part of the story and I go, okay, now I'm going to check. Does this actually do what they say it does? So it makes life easier for you. It makes life easier for your markers. Is this what you've been taught? Is this? No? I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to be throwing you off. I'm just telling you that this is how we do it. But yeah, I'm going to come around and see what's going on. First on my rock. Okay. Lawrence? Ellie?
Yeah.
Louis? Nick? Jesse? Joel?
Yeah.
Lewis? Louise? Was Lewis, did he leave, or is he going back? Okay. Ellie?
Can you hear me?
Eli? Lucian?
Yeah.
Colin? Matthew?
Yep.
Liam? Yeah. Sydney?
Yeah.
And Nathan?
I've heard of the bench shed. I've heard of the bench shed. How old are you, like 9?
Found the voice there too.
Yeah.
Found it.
Just literally, the table just next door. Just,
That's
just hand it. That's what I was told to do.
What?
Yeah, that's what I do.
You know that guy?
Yeah. So?
He's our head mentor.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, no, he's a good guy. You might find me on that. I don't know, obviously, BID or anything. Think of a B. I'm a slow runner. B runner. B. Sorry, no, B. Letter B. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, man. I'm so cool. So how you guys going?
where it was. I didn't know it was there. No one ever told me. But I thought that it was. No one told me.
Do you know about computer stuff? My computer at home, the CPU gets to like literally 100 degrees. And I think it might be because the heatsink is pretty broken, so I've got another one coming with thermal paste as well. Do you think that'll be able to fix it? I dusted it out the other day and I've got 2 front headphones now, like a as well.
I know what you mean. Anyway, so like you're just trying to explain that.
If you're prepared to do that, then that's something that's worth it. I mean, that's I
Because like it's so bad.
virus check, like full risk. Also,
I was with 2 other chicks and they should teach me how to do it. And one of them had no
running startup stuff. Just stop all the because you can't start 50 things turning on all at once. Do you have Dropbox?
Oh my god, last night. Scary, alright.
That's one of the skills because if you've got heaps of stuff that's trying to constantly sync, then it just runs like crazy.
I've been getting over 2 calls on the street or something crazy.
Anyway,
I just haven't turned it on because I'm scared the blue screen's like actually gonna break or something.
Look, it sounds like you're going about it.
Yeah.
How long?
It's
anyway, so
2 years maybe.
and I had like 3
That's
minutes
the
from
best.
that,
Yeah. Try to
and then I had like 10 minutes.
But it is the stock but it's the stock I-7377. That's a pretty good thing. Yeah, it's like 300.
Are you just doing it
And it's so cool that like
Parts that are great.
I think it just goes on.
Oh, yeah. No, don't.
Wait, the definition, are we meant to actually copy paste them? Or are we meant to find them ourselves?
So you called
I didn't talk to you.
you did.
Okay, guys, just with the first section, give you a possible way that you can make this look really good. Guys, listening up. With the first section, I've just gone around and had a look, and most of you have just launched straight into the table, right? Which is fine, and that's exactly what you're asked for. Okay, but sometimes it can get confusing if you're trying to break down a system. It's relatively complex, straight into a table, going inputs, outputs, across here, across there. It becomes difficult to actually build. The easiest thing you can do is draw the diagram, like the actual physical diagram. I'm not saying draw the computer or anything, but draw the physical diagram of how things are actually connected. Okay, so I'm not going to do it here, but to start off with, just draw a whole bunch of squares on a page. Okay, with CPU, scanner, printer, etc. Okay, and then draw the lines that connect them. Okay, inputs and outputs. So CPU communicates to the printer, draw a line. But which way does the data go? Okay, CPU tells the printer to print. But does the printer ever? Then you go, okay, well, does the printer ever tell the CPU I'm finished printing? Hey, okay. So you've got stuff going back that way. So once you draw this diagram, if you start doing this sort of stuff, okay, and then writing down what the information, what sort of data is actually connecting. Sorry, you guys probably can't see over there. Okay, it will get really confusing on your very first diagram. Okay, because you've just got a whole bunch of squares that you're just linking like this. Okay, that just become a bit of a mess. But once you've done your first diagram, then you can sort of simplify it out and separate it into something really nice. Then do your table. Because then it's really simple to go, CPU to printer, X. Okay, this has the output, this is where the CPU communicates to. This is where this communicates to. Does that make sense? Because if you just do the table, you're going to forget stuff. You're going to miss things. You will. So this will help big time. So you usually break down a system into blocks. And I'm going to start using a word called modules. Have you used that much? Yeah. Modules? Okay, so these are your modules. The self-contained systems that have simple interfaces in and out. Okay? So try that first before you do your table. Have that above your table. It'll make things a lot easier.
We're just writing our descriptions.
Explain to me if I'm just looking at the table and I'd like you to tell me why I would have thought that every single thing there had an input of some kind, and almost everything would have an output of some kind. Yeah, that would make sense, but I don't think I would have thought the same thing initially, but I don't think he was looking for that kind of depth, just the general idea of what either does so with a scan, it's inputting an image, sure, but when you scan it, it's becoming a digital file. That's, yeah, but then it has to have a purpose to output that, so convert
says that information, the light is digital data, example, and it has to output that to something. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. You know what I mean? I'm not arguing against what you've done. I just yeah. Think about it, because that's what I'm saying with this diagram. Drawing in this scan is a bit of paper. Output is digital data. What does that connect to? You might take that and connect that to a printer, or connect it to miner. I don't know, something. Or that doesn't always work. You have to run it through the processing unit. Sorry, I'm just.
That's good. I appreciate your input.
I'm going to go back when that's what I'm
on X next to my name.
factory. And then my homepage is judo
Promise.
Oh, I feel like crying thinking about it. Apparently all the stackies were cracked. Like they all found like a pillow down in it. And then you go home and do it. Just left it on there.
The house.
He was like,
That's good. I'm about
you're going to come with some yeah.
Mango's pretty big. Big enough. Yeah, I've got probably like characters on like a girl. He's actually like an old man. Yeah.
The official market is
Some two bases of let's have a look.
my boyfriend has. He looks like he has the same forehead and same eyes. No, my boyfriend.
Level 1. Yeah.
Like this, but without this, it has that really nice.
Level 1, very nice female. Moon God. That's not my main controller of the house, whether it was man. So this is like my old right? Yeah. Sam's league name for a while. Do you remember Sam's league name? Right man goes away.
Guys on this side. Come in. I've seen the error of your ways. Yours is looking at Google too much. But I want to run through just quickly how I think the best way to approach this first problem is, and just pull you up on a few things that are potentially problematic. So at the moment, what's happening is you guys have a diagram. Okay, you've got a table. This says component. Okay, this is input. This is the process. This is the output, and this is the storage. Okay, I'm just writing that so you guys can see. Easy. You're welcome to come in closer. Okay, so what you're doing is you're showing a list of all the different components that you're dealing with. Okay, so let's just go with something like a scanner. Okay, so a lot of you are doing just an X going, yeah, there's an input to the scanner, or the scanner gives an output. That's not what, I don't think we need to around that way to approach the problem. The way you approach the problem is go, okay, I've got a scanner. What are the things that make the scanner work as an input? What do I need for a scanner? You've already used a scanner before. What do I put into it? Photo. Paper. Okay? let's just go with paper. Okay. What else happens to make the scanner run? Does it constantly work? You know, sorry? Electricity? Sorry, I'm going with more data sort of things. Okay, I'll let you know. A go signal for an on switch. Okay, so when you put the bit of paper in, it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just constantly scan. You actually say, I'm going to scan now. Okay, so there's two inputs you actually got. Now, what's the process? What does it actually do? What does it scan? Yeah, it's simple. Okay. Convert it's paper or light signal, okay, into data. Now that into an image data. Okay. Now that basically answers your question of what the next thing is. What's the output? Image data. Right? Simple. Image data. And storage, does the thing store? Maybe some advanced ones, but not this one. Okay, make it simple for yourselves. Okay? It doesn't actually store anything, so you just put it in a. Okay. So we've done one component. And you guys can go and do every single component. But how you can break this down and make things really easy for yourself and start thinking about how these processes work is just to draw a box. This is what we do constantly at university, right? You just draw a black box. We call it a black box because we don't know how it works. We just know what it does. We know what the inputs and the outputs are. And that's what the scanner is. So the inputs are paper and go signal. Okay? The process is converts to digital image. Okay? And the output is digital image. Right? So you've got your mini module system. Right? Now, if you do that for every single component going down, and you draw these individual little boxes, then you can start connecting them in one big system. So this thing, the scanner, converts a digital image. But is it worth connecting this digital image to, I don't know, to the speakers? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? Some engineers probably would, and they call it beautiful, and you get sound out of the video or whatever. In fact, I'm pretty sure that you can find YouTube clips to do exactly that. But the point of the scanner and the way we set up our system is that this digital image will go to where? Hard drive. Yeah, exactly. So once you've got these little diagrams drawn, then you draw the big one. And you go, okay, I've got my scanner. Okay. My input is paper. My output is going to go to the hard drive. Okay. And the arrows are going in that direction. Now the hard drive, or wherever, is also going to give me the go. So when that says go, and there's paper, then I get a digital image that comes out from my hard drive. And there's my MIDI system that's starting to load up. Now I add other components. You know, the printer, which is going to be just an output. Okay, so an image, digital image goes out to my printer, and the output is, sorry? Yep, image on paper. Yeah. Okay, you see how this is building up. Build it up, and then this table becomes really polymer. So everything connects to everything else. And you describe how these things connect and what they do. Okay, so I've given you an example for one. See how you go with the rest. Don't forget these diagrams. These diagrams are really useful. Even if they're really small, they're awesome.
always better, but I don't know if that's how it's feeling once that's it.
Because I'll say right now, what you guys are doing is equivalent to what it's a large part of the major assignments of first year robotics. Exactly this, but not we don't do it as a computer, we do it for a robot. Right? Robotics. So it's exactly the same. You just have this module connects this module, how to connect, how to program this, and then you actually go and build it. Right? Like you have to do this first. Exactly this. And the way I describe it. Yeah. Was the office okay? Yeah, that was okay.
You can take them, but then you have to relearn them.
Oh, really?
Just take them.
I did that.
Yeah. And okay.
pretty good.
It's good. It's better than most teachers. The last guy just let us watch YouTube videos all day.
I think it's also age.
I remember the last substitute teacher we had for this class. He just let us do whatever we want.
Go to the side of the desk.
He was on Gumtree. It was only the last couple of minutes he came up and said, "What are you doing?" and stuff.
We must probably speak to James about it. You know,
I like writing a book.
Engineering studies. Easy. They have a library that has
Guys, can we speed it down a little bit? So, how I
like newspaper, for example, and it's not understand the text as well as
So, the first thing would be initialize. Settings are make sure. Guys, just quiet down. Initialize stuff. So it's the stuff that you do with you.
You have more than one.
Then you start your program.
yes.
Now the first step might be
Well, it doesn't necessarily it has your cause, which is basically the same thing.
What
so you literally have one.
Guys, can only really have one right next to each other. Just now, then you can have so can you have one sound?
No.
Usually doesn't go over 27.
Yeah, it's possible. You can have more than one graphic card. Definitely more than one stick around.
You go maybe you
Depends on the computer board.
you initialize X equals Y all back. Okay. Now I'm going to increase 1. You know what that means? Sorry. X equals X. That's my first step. Okay. Second step is X plus Y. Let's say it's there.
Equals battery.
And then I'll say if
Like
Z is greater than
the factory.
now. Otherwise,
So like, I've taken the random and applied it to that.
that's an input. Okay, it could be 1. So you could set up to 1. Okay. But I've actually put too much code in here already. Okay, because I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. But when you're setting this up, draw a box and go, I'm going to initialize the program. This is my step 1. This is my step 2. I'm going to test. If it doesn't work, otherwise I'll do something else. Okay. So this is my basic structure to a program. Now, I take this and I turn it into steps. But break down each one. Okay? And I say initialize. Yeah. So this is like my chapter. My chapter is initialize. What am I going to do? I'm going to do that. X.
When we launch that plan.
So I haven't. And then that's all. Then I go like separate. What am I going to do? I'm going to actually add but we maybe that's all I need to do. It doesn't have more steps. We just look down extension and so on and so on and so on. This is have you finished the 11 version? Does it matter anything for writing actually? Yeah, extension. Then you read through this. You change it matches. Finish it this time. And then the simplest thing is save this.
What?
What chapter you want?
Well, we're doing 9.
Yeah, did you skip like
We went 1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm ahead of my class. I did 3D in the library the other day.
Is it because 9's like 4 or?
Yeah, it's geometry, and then we do circle geometry, which is chapter 8.
I thought you guys knew that like 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's like a whole chapter in half a week.
It's possible.
Depending on the size of the chapter, we have done that.
All the chapters are different sizes.
Some of them can have 24 units, and then some of them can have 4.
So that is possible.
Yeah, so that's what
Most subjects. The thing is, once I became to English and gave our teacher a brand of penny and one shiz, and then put one on there, and it just sat down like 20 minutes later. And he's like, yeah, that's brand of penny, so it's all good now.
He gets sent out so much in being like like 2 lessons ago, we were just in that English, we were doing our stuff, and we noticed that Moses just had a bit of a nap outside on the grass. Lucian, how many retards are in REC? Half the class are like speaking, even though they're like,
I'm doing my pseudo stuff. How is what is the best way to make a question like a multiple choice pseudo thing? Because I'm doing this and I can tell it's wrong because I don't know what's happened.
Okay. I'm going to run through what I did with the other guys just now. Easiest way to start. Guys, just with your pseudocode, I think it's you so I'll just explain this to. Okay? Before you go and write your pseudocode, again, I'm just going to try and make life as easy as possible for all of you. Okay? It's much easier, rather than going and writing what you're going to do, with programming and setting up these sorts of software systems, it's much easier to draw, guys at the back, it's much easier to draw what we call a flowchart, a program flowchart. Really, really easy. Makes your life much easier. Okay? And again, just draw boxes. Okay? So to start with, a big idea, we're going to initialize my system. Okay? And then in this case, the next thing would be, okay, after I've initialized, I think you guys are doing like a question-based system, right? So maybe ask question once, whatever the question is. Okay? Then we're going to do something that would be, and I'm going to draw a diamond here. Okay, and you'll see why in a second. Okay? So, and this would be test question or answer. Oh, actually, sorry. You ask question 1, then you receive answer. Okay? And then you do something like test answer. Now, I don't know how you're going to do this. You don't know yet how you actually do this. But you're setting up the system and you're telling yourself, this is the order that I'm going to instruct my program. Okay, so we initialize. The first thing we do is we ask question 1. We wait and we receive an answer from the user. We test that answer and check if it's correct. Let's say if it's incorrect, I don't know what you're going to do. You need to decide. If it's incorrect, we're going to ask the question 1 again. Okay? But if it's correct, then I move on. Now, usually you make this into one big long flow diagram, but I've run out of space. Okay? So don't make it too confusing for yourself. So I've initialized, asked question 1, I've received an answer, I've tested the answer. If it's correct, then I ask question 2. Okay? Or maybe I store the answer. That might be a better thing. So these things change as you start to think about what you're actually doing. Okay? So I'd store the answer, and then I'd ask question 2, and I'd do this again for question 2, then question 3, and so on. Okay? And then the end result, what do? Maybe, like I'll say that's all done, and then the end result, maybe you print answers to the user. Okay, so I've constructed my program in one long flow chart. Now maybe once it's finished, it goes back to the beginning and says, now I'm starting again. Question 3, question. Okay? Or it just ends. Now you have to decide what actually happens. You need to make that decision. Okay? There's no wrong answer as long as you've just designed it. So once you've done this, then you can write your pseudocode. You go, okay, what's initialize involved? Well, initialize might involve my variable x being set to 0. My variable y is set to 0. I'm going to initialize a string. I'm going to initialize this and that, the variables and all that kind of stuff. Anything you need to run the program, you set up. Then ask question 1. How do you actually ask question 1? That's where you start writing, not in code, but in the steps that you use in Pascal to actually ask a question, to print it to the screen. I need to get the string. I need to output the string. I need to wait for an answer. Okay? Then receive an answer. What do you actually do? You're waiting, you're receiving, you're reading. I actually don't know. I haven't used Pascal years and years. I'd have to read up on it again. But I'm giving you this is how I design it for any language, anywhere. Whatever I'm using, this is programmer 101. Okay? For anyone. And the final language is irrelevant in that. Okay? Make sense? Yeah. So this is a good way to go about designing your program first. Then you write your pseudocode. Then you write your code. And life will be easy. You just launch into your code. You're going to forget about asking a question, or you forget about receiving the answer. Then have to try and jam in some code to try and fix it. And then this is going to break down over here because you have to change the variables over here. If you don't plan, you're going to fail. Okay? You'll never ever write your code right the first time, but this will get you much closer than just going and writing your code.
You ready?
It's where things branch. So when you use a diamond,
Sam's going to be here today.
two different directions. So it could be a while, it could be a while. But in that case, I'd do it possibly here or some sort of test. Yeah. Maybe, and I don't know, maybe you've got a set. So I think if you set the user question mark, true or false, enter to your life, and then you say if equals 10 or if equals 10, it's good. In fact, you might have a branch for true, you might have a branch for false, but if they have an other, then you have a loop which comes up and ask question mark. And in fact, something that might, this is something you can design in again. Is if it's incorrect, then you have error. So it outputs an error message that says, what you entered is wrong. Please enter true or false. Then ask the question again. And then so then you've got a nice little loop going. Yeah. And it's responsive. It tells the user what they want.